Hi, and welcome to Optimal Firm. We are excited to share this program with you. Optimal Firm is a team of two legal administrative professionals, Melinda Knorr and Claudia Moshuk. Over the past 30 years, Claudia has managed several firms, performing both legal administrative and human resources functions. Melinda has been supporting attorneys for over 20 years in various roles. As a team, they have worked in almost every position that law firms have to offer. It's given them a tremendous insight both in staffing as well as marketing practices and growing business. It is our mission to help you and your firm increase profits by applying principles of staffing in the corporate environment to maximize productivity at every level. These principles can be applied to any size law firm. Even sole practitioners will benefit from these principles. The three key principles that define the Optimal Firm program are reorganize practice groups to be more effective and efficient, optimize staff to ensure greatest potential and efficiency, workflow coordination. We've put some words in parentheses to give a little more definition to these principles. We will get into what we mean by these definitions in the following slides. The first principle sounds like a big job, and it can be as comprehensive as you think your firm needs. It applies directly to the business of the firm. We work with you to restructure your practice groups to make them more effective and efficient. That begins with identification of what is already working well for your firm. On the previous slide, we had the words niche and vertical in parentheses to give definition to the idea of reorganizing. We suggest that you identify the practice groups in your firm that are bringing in the most business and develop marketing strategies surrounding them. That is to say, become known in your niche market. That's the business development side of the reorganize principle. We've helped many attorneys do just this with spectacular results. They've become known as the experts in whatever niche it was that was already working for them. If you would like more information on this end, we provide consulting at an hourly rate. Information is at our website, optimalfirm.com. The other part of the reorganize principle is verticality. This is a staffing concept taken directly from the corporate environment where they staff around initiatives rather than staffing around executives. It makes a big difference. Once you've organized your practice groups more efficiently, you go to work on staffing those groups rather than staffing for individuals you bring into your practice. By organizing, we identify practice groups within the firm if not already in place, combine as many groups as possible for greatest efficiency and use of underutilized staff, assign staff to practice groups rather than to attorneys, create harmony and job satisfaction by enhancing skill sets at each level, creating contented teamwork, and finally, spread knowledge within the group. In this way, any staff person can handle any task necessary in that group because of a shared knowledge base. All staff is familiar with the caseload of the practice group and can act interchangeably. Here are a couple of examples on how the reorganized principle would look in two different small to mid-size law firms. Example 1. A firm of 23 attorneys, 8 paralegals, and 6 secretaries would become a new formula of 23 attorneys, 6 paralegals, and 3 to 4 secretaries. These numbers can be reduced further by outsourcing some functions. These days, outsourcing is available for any single function. Just Google whatever you need: transcription, couriers, office supply, ordering, etc. In example 2, a firm of 50 attorneys, 6 paralegals, 12 secretaries would become a new formula of 50 attorneys, 6 paralegals, 6 secretaries. These numbers can be reduced further by outsourcing some functions. So you can see that in these examples, you can become more profitable with less staff. Optimal Firm does not suggest a cleaning house. You simply reorganize your practice groups, and then as staff leaves, you will have no need to replace them. You won't need to. We will touch more on how this may happen more quickly than you'd think in the next principle, Optimize. So you're probably wondering, how do I reduce staff and yet maintain, and in most cases improve, the same levels of service? When you reconfigure your practice groups, you'll see that they self-support and overlap in terms of the clients they serve. We add a footnote about the niche aspect mentioned earlier. Again, marketing your firm's particular strengths can be a lot easier than you think. Please let us know if you are interested. Next, you'll utilize a workflow coordinator who will ensure that all staffing needs are met at all times, including outsourcing when necessary. Now for the Optimize phase. Once the practice groups are established, it's time to move forward with a firm-wide review of staffing needs. As mentioned, during our discussion of the Reorganize phase, you may discover that your firm needs far fewer staff than you currently have. How will you know? You'll begin by testing your staff for proficiency in supporting each practice area, or whichever area applies to them based on what they've supported in the past. As you are well aware, there are very specific criteria for some practice groups. Some staff will be ready to go, but some will need extra training on certain points. However, some staff will not want to perform these tasks required by the newly established groups, nor will they want to be trained to learn them. This proficiency testing and training will bring the cream to the top. Once the skill set for each practice group is identified, training or knowledge share within the group will be offered to all staff. This ensures that all of your administrative needs can be met by any and all staff within the group interchangeably. The last portion of the Optimize phase is to assign billable tasks to all staff or limit non-billable staff. Many firms have their administrative staff bill. As long as the task is billable, we agree with this philosophy. All perform billable functions, and it is essential to capture this time. If you have any staff who are not performing billable functions or not billing their time, narrow those positions to 1 or 2 per group. This structure is based on large corporations. First, large corporations staff around initiatives, as mentioned before. Second, they do not have an overabundance of administrative staff. Generally, 1 or 2 admins are assigned to each group to perform non-billable functions such as generating expense reports, arranging travel, etc. The third principle or phase is the workflow coordinator position. The workflow coordinator will either be a newly created position or a revamping of your human resources personnel. They will be the heartbeat of the firm. They will check in with each group daily to get an idea of who needs help and who can offer help. Depending on the workload, they may need to check with groups multiple times per day. Obviously, this person will need to have a very comprehensive knowledge of the firm's practice areas and groups. We suggest using human resources, if human resources personnel have the knowledge necessary to perform this function. If not, promote one of the senior staff members to this position. It's a win-win. The workflow coordinator can respond directly to attorney requests, facilitate any outsourcing needed, including temps, and generally be on call to ensure staffing needs are met. Contrast this to the current system at work in most law firms. The workflow coordinator will be proactively handling crises before they arise rather than constantly rushing to put out fires. This principle is one that can be utilized by almost any firm with excellent results. Everyone will get what they need when they need it. Employ any one of these principles or all three. Together or on their own, they each have enormous benefit in the law firm environment. The Optimal Firm program will enable you to streamline your practice, enhance your staff's skill set, employ any one of these principles or all three. Together or on their own, they each have enormous benefit in the law firm environment. The Optimal Firm program will enable you to streamline your practice, enhance your staff's skill set, and guarantee that your work will be finished on time, every time. The bottom line is that your clients will receive better service. You will be able to spend more time billing and marketing. Your staff will be happier, more proficient, and more productive. Thank you for your interest in our program. Please visit our website for more information or if you need to contact us, www.optimalfirm.com.